Hey everybody, Final Flame Productions back with another Dexter video, and today we talk about the question mark, spoiler of course, the question mark about whether we will see Michael C. Hall and whether we will see Dexter back again. A lot of rumors after the finale. I mean, of course the finale ends with Dexter being shot, and the presumption is that he dies. The showrunner of the show, Clyde Phillips, has said that Dexter is definitely dead. As I've said before, other shows have killed off characters such as Fox and Prison Break, and they've brought these characters back after originally suggesting that they were definitely dead. But anyway, today we want to talk about, there's two interviews where Michael C. Hall kind of alludes to the whether or not there will be more Dexter, and whether or not it is definitive of whether Dexter is dead. Now, in fairness, I'll play these interviews first, and then I'll talk about them. Here's the first one with an interview with Esquire, and he's asked about what his feelings are about the finale. This is Michael C. Hall.
I felt satisfied. I felt like I was, like I had landed on the ground after having been in a state of some sort of unacknowledged suspended animation for 8 years. I felt, not to say that there won't be more, who knows? But no, I felt a sense of satisfaction that we had done a good job telling the story that we just.
That's one of the interviews where he kind of suggests that things are over, but then it seems like he kind of maybe jokingly says not to say there won't be more. I guess in the context of this interview, he wasn't spoiling the end of the finale. This is probably an interview done promoting the show before maybe the finale ended, and he probably didn't want to suggest that the ending does feature death, which is interesting. But we got the other interview, which is possibly more interesting because he refers to the season 8 finale, and obviously in that finale he isn't killed, but he mentions that, well, I'll let you hear the interview. This is with Producers Guild of America. This is Michael C. Hall doing an interview alongside Clyde Phillips.
Which was a useful exercise as we got ready to go back into this, but yeah, I put him away. I said goodbye, but I also, I wasn't saying goodbye to someone in a casket. I mean, he was still out there, alive. I didn't know if I would ever intersect with him again, but I'm glad on the other side of having shot it that I did.
So this is an interesting one because he says he wasn't saying goodbye to someone in a casket, which is probably the thing that most people have brought up, the fact that, they could have ended that, if they ended that finale with him getting shot, lying on the ground, blood coming out, and that was it, there would be, which is kind of where they did leave Dexter's character. We have Harrison driving away and reading the letter and stuff, but at the end of the day, in terms of TV shows and movies, is not the most definitive death for a character. I mean, he isn't decapitated, he isn't blowing up on screen, he isn't, as Michael C. Hall says, buried or put in a casket. He is shot. It isn't looking good for him, there's no getting away from that. But it's not in the realms of the possibilities that 3 years, 13 years, whatever down the line, that they would decide to bring this back if they wanted to. Now, in fairness, this interview that's a reference to the end of season 8, but it does ring true here that that's his mindset, and I think that's the mindset of most people who create content and create movies, and about returning to characters is whether or not, has he said goodbye completely? I think there's no secret that Michael C. Hall doesn't really want to do any more. The question is not whether he wants to do more now. It's a question of, could he ever do more? Which is the same thing that which is the same way that they ended with the last Dexter show. Is the question, after all these years, would he want to do more? And after a long time, like when he finished the first Dexter finale, season 8 interviews, he didn't seem interested. He didn't seem to want to go near that again. They had left it the way it was left, and that was that. Is this a case that when the dust settles, in years' time when people look back in the finale, and those ratings were so good, you know, I mean, they talk about making a spin-off series with Harrison. Let's be honest, nobody really thinks that that's going to be a hit. I mean, it might do okay for a while, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same level of intrigue, and it's not going to have the staying ability that the Dexter show originally had. But I just wanted to bring these comments up. They shot the show. He mentioned this. He says he didn't say goodbye to a character in a casket, and that's talking about season 8. But he didn't say goodbye to a character in a casket in this season either. It isn't out of the realms of possibility that they could bring it back. I think at the moment that I have to be fair here and say that I don't think it will be back with Michael C. Hall anytime soon. I think down the line again it could be revisited, but who knows? What do you think? Do you take maybe people that wanted to see more Dexter and wanted to see Michael C. Hall return someday in the future? Do you take? Are you enthused by his mindset that unless you definitively destroy a character and kill a character, he isn't really ever gone? So that's what I take from it. It's an interesting comment from somebody that didn't really have to say it in such words. I'm sure he would probably, if you asked him that today, he would say that, well, no, the New Blood finale is definitive and he is dead. But I think the dust has settled. There's been a lot. I mean, before this, you have to know that the people who made this finale, especially Clyde Phillips, praised and spoke up about how great the finale was. But that hasn't aged well in terms of the fan reaction. The fan reaction has not been good. So who knows? I don't expect Dexter and Michael C. Hall to return anytime soon. But as I've said, since even after watching the finale, he isn't completely out of the realms of possibility that they could rewrite him back into the show. Maybe he's dragged away in an ambulance, he's brought into hospital and he survives. Who knows? But what do you think about these comments? Do you think we will ever see Michael C. Hall back as Dexter? Let me know what you think. Thank you.